Hey everyone, Laurel again, part 2 of the garden tour. This will be a little bit shorter, but I'll show everything that we didn't get to. We've got the boom chocolate geraniums, all budded up, about to bloom. It looks like they bloom blue or purple. I did plant some snapdragons in here next to the Dusty Miller last night. We've got more of the Nemesia Inca Nemesia here, the yellow. This Nepeta hasn't opened yet, but it's about to. We've got more Americana salmon geraniums, and then the Drops of Jupiter ornamental oregano. I just love how bright that green is right now in the spring. It does stay nice and bright green all summer too, but it has blooms all summer long. We've got the Monarda here getting ready to put on some buds, and then the Salvia. I have 3 Caradonna Salvia there, right behind the Monarda. Just about to open up. They bloom beautiful purple, and they do self-seed. There's a weed, but also you can see a little seedling right next to a parent plant that self-seeded itself, so I'll leave that one be. And then this is another Salvia. I want to say it's like something sky blue. Budded up, going to bloom. And then some echinacea here in the middle. And we've got the really pretty blooms right now. This is the Alexandra Brunnera with those petite blue flowers. And then the Heucherella, I think this one is called Onyx, right behind it with those pretty pink bloom spikes. Lots more blooms over here. Another Heucherella. I'm pretty sure this one is Pink Fizz. Blooming pink. And this Jacob's Ladder. I think this one is Stairway to Heaven, but it's really cool. It's like pale lavender blooms, but then the backside of the bloom is like pink. So it kind of gives a two-tone effect. And everything's looking pretty lush right now, especially with all the rain. I filmed the first part of the tour last night when it was nice out, and it's been raining off and on all morning now. But we've got the designer jeans hosta there, that bright one with red stems. A lady fern right behind it. Behind the lady fern are 2 white astilbe, and then a viburnum there, also budded up. We've got autumn frost hosta, Jack Frost Brunnera. These blooms are almost done. I'll be trimming that pretty soon. Got a few plum cascade Heucherella over here with their pale pink blooms. Another Jack Frost Brunnera, and then the raspberry splash lungwort is almost done. It has just a little bit of color left, but I don't know if I'll do it this weekend because it's kind of wet out here, but I'll be trimming all those blooms off, and then you can see its leaves here in the middle. It'll just fill out and be kind of a mound of those polka dotted leaves. And then I thought it was another Alexandra Brunnera, but I'm remembering now it's called Looking Glass that I got on clearance at the end of last summer. Little lime hydrangea, and then 3 Maggie Daly astilbe. They are looking so full and so happy. These have just absolutely beautiful blooms, so I'm hoping I get some blooms. I transplanted them last year. Man, I had trouble with astilbe the last 3 years. We've had so much drought. They've really had a lot of trouble. Then I have a clematis growing here on the fence as well that's putting on some blooms. And a little lungwort that was ailing that I rescued last year. Hopefully it can grow bigger and stronger. We've got another viburnum here. No blooms on this one, but it is putting out new growth. I like how it's kind of orange tinted. And the North Pole arbovita looking good. Also happy with the rain. 2 firelight hydrangeas. A variegated Brunnera down here. And a tree seedling. I have planted alyssum down here, and sometimes it self-seeds. I'm not sure if it will this year. But those same Alexandra Brunnera kind of go all the way around here. And then we've got The crested surf fern is coming up and looking nice there. And the Sun King Aurelia as well. And some more Astilbe in the back. Limelight hydrangea. I showed this in the last tour, but they still look glorious. This is back to the fuchsia salvia. These bloom around this time, late spring, early summer, and they look beautiful. I do trim them back after they bloom. I mean, they bloom. I get several weeks of bloom out of these, but I can't get them to rebloom by trimming them back. So I just trim them back hard, and then they flush out, and they're just nice sort of like mounds of foliage the rest of the summer. But I have an open space here that I usually plant some annuals in. So we've got the Iceberg Alley Sage Leaf Willow, which, as I've said before, was really suffering because of all the drought that we've had. So we'll see if it bounces back this year. We've got another little patch of bee balm here. And then these irises. What's going on with that? I've never seen that before. See how the leaves are like kind of crimping and folding over, some of them? It's strange. It's the leaves that are on the bloom stalks, but they've got tons of buds. I'm just not all that familiar with iris, I guess, but these are a Siberian iris. They were mismarked as a purple variety, but they actually bloom light yellow. You can kind of see the color starting to show through here. I think they might be, it's called something like butter and sugar or something. Really pretty when those bloom. And then I have these, I think, are the Rhineland Astilbe. These branches are kind of weighed down, but they are full of buds too. They haven't bloomed in a couple of years because of drought, but I moved them back here where they get full shade. And we've had a nice rainy spring. This is a mulberry tree. I don't know if it was planted on purpose or if it planted itself here, but you can see it's all full of berries. I just trim it away from where it gets in my way when I'm trying to work back here. Otherwise, I leave it because it's kind of what provides a lot of the shade for this garden, the shade garden back here. But the squirrels have like turf war fights over the berries when they're ripe. You hear all this noise of squirrels fighting all the time in that tree. This is a yarrow. It doesn't get enough sun here, but it still blooms. I don't know what kind. It was unlabeled, but it has kind of like a pink bloom. And then the beautiful Walker's Low Nepeta in full bloom. I've seen hummingbirds visit this every year. They almost look like orchid-shaped, the blooms. Really cool. But this, as you can see, gets enormous. I mean, this thing is easily 3.5 feet across from end to end. And you can see it's kind of starting to split. Of course, we've got rain that weighed it down. But it's splitting in the middle. And this is what this one does for me every summer. Let's see if I can walk back here without falling over or stepping on anything. But this does this to me every summer. So it'll bloom nicely and kind of slowly split open. And then when the blooms are kind of fading, I will trim it back hard. And it'll create like a nice mound of foliage again. And it has that kind of cool tone green, almost sagey green. So it looks nice next to these. And it sends up a few sporadic bloom shoots here and there for the rest of the summer. Nothing as full as it is in the beginning. But I don't know. I have had these planted in full sun and in part shade, and I think they get so big that might be just what they're prone to. I don't know. Maybe I just don't have enough sun to keep them from splitting, but either way, I still enjoy it very much, and it blooms for a really long time, like most Nepetas. So, and this I didn't mention either. This is Angelina sedum. I have a few patches back here in the vegetable garden, just chunks that have planted themselves, or who knows, traveled with something else, or I had a plant back here at one point and a piece broke off. But it's really not invasive. It's super easy to pull up because sedum has such shallow roots. And I think it's pretty around the base of the planters. I wouldn't be planting anything else there anyway, so I just leave it. This one I planted on purpose, though. That is a ground cover sedum. I think it's called, oh no, I forget, firecracker. See, I some things I remember really well, some things I forget, but yeah. And then I have strawberries all over the place, but I've grown dill here. I haven't seeded it. Those all seeded themselves along with weeds. All the dill down here seeded itself. It's popping up all over the place. I don't really do much about it. If it's an area where I walk or I don't need it, it gets killed anyway because I step on it or dig there or whatever. So I just let it do its thing. And I do have carrots coming up. Even some of the areas where the cat dug to use the potty, I did clear away the gifts that, the cat left in here. But so far I don't see any signs of new digging, so I'm hoping between the saran wrap and the bricks and the stakes, even though it looks crazy, like some weird fortress, I hope it works. Because also that's just what I had on hand, so I didn't have to spend any extra money on it. But, yeah. So anyway, that was just, I wanted to do this little corner of the garden, continuation of the tour. Since my neighbors were out enjoying their patio and having dinner as a family, I don't want to disturb them and film a video when they're out there. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Please subscribe. Okay, so one last thing I forgot that I wanted to ask about. First of all, this yew is not looking good. It had a hard start to life here, and then it got pretty beat up when they took down the trees. So I was thinking I would have to take it out, but I do see new growth, this lighter green new growth, and little bitty growth points on the end, so I'm hopeful it will recover. If not, it was only $10. Was it even that on clearance last year? So you can see little growth points on the ends here. If not, I can replace it. But so this is strawberries and cream ribbon grass. And I got 3 of these on super clearance last summer. But this year, this enormous green stalk has grown, and there are a couple of them now. And it looked like it was part of the grass, and I've never seen this grass before. And some of these stalks are kind of big. And I know this grass can be invasive, but down back here it doesn't really matter if it spreads kind of along the fence. Or it can be not invasive, but aggressive, I guess I'll say. But what is that? Is it like reverting to a parent type of grass, or is this some kind of weird weed that was put in here? It's just strange that it has the same structure. But why is it so huge? So if anybody knows, please share. Or am I going to have to rip this out? I don't know. If I do, it's okay, because they were, again, on clearance and super cheap, maybe $3 a piece. So let me know. Thanks.